Since I moved to San Francisco after starting my new job as a freelance contractor, Sally had always been a good friend. The job didn't pay much, but it brought me to California faster than I had anticipated. Sally, my first acquaintance in the city, lived next door to me in a small two-bedroom apartment. The decor changed daily, reflecting her belief that every day should be as unique as she was. I admired her spirit and wished I could be more like her. I quickly settled into my new apartment, where the aroma of fresh pastries each morning invigorated me. Mornings used to be my least favorite time, but now Sally would greet me outside her door, and we'd walk to work together. She worked as a hairstylist nearby, while I drafted legal briefs for a real estate law firm. My work was interesting, but I longed for the freedom Sally seemed to have. On Monday, our workday ended early, and we met outside the law firm. "How was your day?" I asked as we strolled down the sidewalk. "It was okay. This one client just couldn't be pleased with her hair, no matter what I did." Sally sighed. I couldn't understand how anyone could be mean to her. She glanced at me and smiled, and for a moment, I saw a red sparkle in her eyes. I blinked, chalking it up to the sunlight playing tricks on me. "Zoey, have you ever wondered what your life would be like if it were different?" Sally inquired as we neared our favorite café. I glanced down at my expensive shoes, which could have bought me countless dinners, and then back at her. "Half the time, I don't even know what I want," I replied hesitantly. We entered the cafe and made our way to our usual corner booth. The place was worn and outdated, but we adored it. Sally interrupted my thoughts. "I've been considering a change," she said. "In what way?" I asked, browsing the paper menu. "Just in general, where I am in life right now." I looked up from the menu, noting the seriousness in her tone. "Sally, you have everything. Why change?" She took a sip of water the waiter had brought us earlier and gazed out the window at passers-by. "Sometimes I feel lost. It's hard to explain, but it's like I'm just going through the motions." The waiter returned, but I waved him away. I knew something was bothering Sally. "Do you think a career change might help?" I asked. Tears welled up in her eyes as she looked down at the table. "I don't know if that's the solution. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but I think I'll head back to the apartment. I'm tired and not in the mood to be out." Sally stood up, and I followed suit. "Are you sure you don't want company?" I asked hopefully. "No, I'll be fine. I just need some time alone." I nodded and watched her leave the cafe. The next day, I awoke feeling exhausted. I had worried about Sally all night and couldn't shake my concerns. The enticing smell of the bakeries wafted through my open window, but today it didn't bring me joy. I decided to visit the cafe for breakfast and clear my head. I wanted to help Sally but didn't want to pry. After dressing in jeans, a sweater, and a black vinyl jacket, I headed out. The street was quieter than usual for a Saturday morning. I passed an elderly couple sitting on their apartment steps and smiled, but they stared at me as if I were an escaped pet. I frowned. Some people were just odd. The cafe was decked out in holiday lights. As I entered and hung my jacket, I noticed the place had changed since yesterday. The worn booths were replaced by tables and blue chairs, and the walls were freshly painted light green. Confused, I approached the counter to speak with a waitress. "You guys really transformed this place, huh?" I asked, glancing around before looking back at the young woman wiping the counter. She stared at me, puzzled. "Miss, I don't know what you're talking about. It's looked like this for years. The owners won't change anything. They think it gives customers a sense of peace while they eat or drink." I scanned the room again, wondering if I had made a mistake or entered the wrong place. I grabbed my jacket and stepped outside, checking the cafe's name. It was the same as I remembered. Feeling uneasy, I hurried back to the apartment, hoping Sally might know what was going on. I knocked gently on her door. After a while, a man in his 50s opened it. "Can I help you?" he asked softly. Confused, I inquired, "Is Sally here?" His eyes filled with sorrow and he took a deep breath. "My Sally passed away a long time ago." I squinted, unable to comprehend Sally's death. "I don't understand, sir. I just saw her yesterday." His expression turned angry. "What are you talking about? This isn't funny. You need to leave." He slammed the door. Shocked and feeling sick, I returned to my apartment and collapsed onto the couch. Something was definitely wrong. I grabbed my phone and checked for messages or texts. There were none, except for one from Sally dated yesterday. Glancing at the date on my phone, I saw it now read 10 years later. I dropped the phone, gasping for breath. Panicking, I opened my laptop and searched for Sally's name. It was true. She had died many years ago. My hands trembled as I read the funeral notice. Struggling to breathe, I searched for our café. The picture I remembered appeared, but it was dated several years in the past. As I read about the café's history, my panic intensified. The website was a tribute to the late owner, explaining why the café no longer existed. It was a tragic day when a bomb hit the café. Many lives were lost as a terrorist targeted the beloved establishment. I continued reading, my breathing becoming more labored. The article listed the names of those who perished in the attack. I recognized only one name, Zoey Streener, age 22.